Time is running out. I'm 3 tournaments down with 3 tournaments left in my quest to win my first tournament. I've always been someone that struggled with nerves before tournaments. I've got slightly better at that, but now the pressure's really on and I need some help with that. So last week I hopped on a call with the Badminton Zone to discuss how to manage tournaments, manage the pressures and conduct myself on tournament day.
I think it just highlights a potential difference from what we've maybe seen with what you're doing with us, where maybe the level looks great and then obviously tournaments are naturally very different. There's a pressure side, there's a mentality side, and obviously from watching some of the videos you can still see that you're trying to find out how that works in a game. When the pressure's on, round after round after round, and that takes time. That's not a click of your fingers and yes, it's great in training, that's going to be instantly there. That's also trying to figure out the tactical side with it as well.
Something I also want to talk about when it comes to tournaments as well is a line that one of my old coaches used to say, which is control the controllables. I think, and I talk to this a lot about my players, I think we've spoken a little bit about it before, is when you go into the tournament, what conditions can you control and what can't you control? How you react to that is super important. I'll give you some scenarios of what you can't control. You can't necessarily control that the course is slippy.
Yeah.
You can't necessarily control the speed of the shuttles to an extent. You can't control how much space there is to warm up. You can't control what exact time your match is going to be. But you can prepare for some of those things, okay? And making sure you're prepared for those uncontrollables, one, gets you in a better mindset, and 2, reminding yourself that your opponent's got those as well.
Yeah.
So an example, everyone complains about speeds of shuttles all the time, okay? But we always think about us, I'm struggling to hit these lifts, they're going out the back. Well, so's your opponent probably. They're just the same speed for them. Think about how your game might change to reflect that. Same with slippy courts. Okay, yeah, you can prepare, get yourself a little wet towel, but your opponents can have the same slippy court as well.
Yeah.
Not letting that get to you.
It also just gives you a completely true reflection as to where you are at. Because if you've prepared and you have everything as it should be, you then know it's purely down to performance.
Yeah.
And what you did on that court. Whereas if you're kind of going, I was a bit hungry, I was lacking energy, I was kind of going, well, that's nothing too much in some ways as to what you've done with us or what you've put into training. It's just the fact that you've not eaten properly or you're not eating properly. And that's when players should be kicking themselves if we're kind of ever ending up in that type of situation.
Finally, for me, just touching on, obviously, we're adding a bit of pressure now to that Devon tournament, obviously. How are you feeling about that?
I'm feeling good about it now. I think probably because there's still a bit of time to go, and I still feel like, I can put in some work between now and then to make sure that I've put myself in the best position to win it. But yeah, and I think it's probably a good thing that it's kind of my local tournament and like I'm familiar with the venue and a lot of my friends will be there. I think that will probably make it a more positive environment to perform in. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Good. I think it's just reminding yourself that nerves are a good thing.
Yeah.
And they're going to make you move faster, jump higher, concentrate more. I used to focus too much about my opponent.
Yeah.
And you've got to focus on yourself. And that's what I didn't do well enough. I've learned more recently, I have to visualize myself more, myself playing well, myself hitting good shots, myself moving well, instead of visualizing them and what they do well. We had an interesting conversation with Tomáš Popov earlier this year at the All England. And we congratulated him on his win that day and was like, who have you got next? And he was like, I don't know. I never look at draws.
Wow.
That's one. I could never do that, but that's one way of thinking about it. Like, who you've got, you just go on, you got to play whoever you're playing.
That's a great example, isn't it? Of, he doesn't care so much about his opponent that he doesn't even know who he's playing next.
Yeah.
So the backhand is a fundamental part of singles and it's not the strongest part of my game. I often feel a little bit caught out on my backhand side. So hopefully today with the Badminton Zone we can fix that.
That we think that you use more of a thumb grip, even when kind of the shuttle feels like it goes behind you. Now what happens with that is that you're having to try and fix it with your body to try and help at least keep that shuttle straight. For us, kind of bevel, but we prefer a little bit more kind of thumb, a little bit more on the side, a little bit more of a pan-handled feel. Just a bit of a greater rotation in the way of generating power, but also just help keep that drop shot nice and straight. So that's what we're going to practice to start with. Trying to let it drop unnecessarily.
Try not to?
No, as in you still, on your backhand, you're still generally looking to still make contact at its earliest possible point, because it still gives you a little bit more time to feel like you hit down. That's it. That's smooth. Better. One thing Dave's pointed out. First one for me, I'd be interested to look it back in the camera, is foot. I feel that foot's slightly going down too early. Okay. Which is why I think you're then actually maybe then getting into this kind of being a little bit lower and later, because you're having to slightly shift your body weight. To kind of stretch and reach it. Whereas I think we just really want to try and feel like we're getting that timing coming down a little bit more as we hit, which obviously then means we can then just spring off a little bit more as well. The other area David's kind of mentions, if it's maybe that you're kind of shuttle tracking a little bit too much. So the shuttle comes over, your racket's kind of following the flight of the shuttle a little bit more. So then when suddenly it's then time to hit, this bit kind of then gets very quick. Rather than trying to feel like we're kind of prepping away a little bit more. So then we can then have that swing into the shot.
Yeah,
make
so
it a
just
little bit
focus on getting back quickly, and then you have more time.
It should feel like, I guess, compared to what it feels like for you at the minute, a kind of longer, slightly longer, smoother action, rather than a bit of a kind of bunt from here. That's better. Good. Good. Nice. But I still feel sometimes that you're trying to kind of come through too early with the body.
I can feel that as well.
Yeah, and I think if we trust the grip, even when it's not following through, we should still be able to feel that we can hit that shot exactly where we want to go, whilst kind of still looking at that back wall. So it just gives you a feeling of kind of how this works without feeling like you're having to bring your body in to hit with it. That's better. Take that. Better. I like that, because you went one here, one there, and then the next one's in the middle, because this course is going to be easy if you can then find the middle ground a little bit more. Yeah, exactly. Like, particularly in training, don't be afraid of what feels abnormal to you a little bit this way. Because like I said, long term, that will easily help you keep it a little bit straight if you're hitting down the middle. So just bring it back a little bit. Okay, fine.
Okay, so this is quarter-final at the Avon tournament. Had a couple quite tricky opponents in the box to get to this quarter-final, so I was maybe a little bit tired. But yeah, really keen, really up for the match. You can see the start here. Both of us just trying to find the court. This was actually my first match in this hall. My first two were in the other hall. And you can see just a few mistakes, few out the back and the sides and into the net. The shuttle did feel like it was flying a little bit different in here compared to the other hall. Felt actually quite slow conditions in this hall. And that cross smash out was one that, I'd hit a few too many times that day. And that one in particular made me realise I need to start attacking straight a lot more and just, keep it in, keep the consistency. But my opponent playing a really good game, playing the slower conditions well, some really high lifts and controlled defence. So in this first set, I've started off a little bit wild, made a few mistakes out the back, out the sides, into the net, and just starting to tighten things up a little bit and play a little bit safer, play the longer rallies, and have the patience, which is obviously something I've been working on during training as well. My opponent was doing a really good job in terms of just soaking up the pressure that I was applying. It felt like he was quite comfortable letting me attack for large parts of this match and just soaking up the pressure and dealing with it. And as you can see on the backhand here, I'm really trying to pin him on the background, trying to get an opportunity to win the point. And he's just playing really solid. Got a really strong, confident backhand to get him out of trouble. His backhand clear was quite often going cross, which I was even starting to anticipate by the end of this game. But I just wasn't able to capitalise on it. Just the attack didn't have that venom in it. And through his defence here, he's just, wearing me down slowly, moving me around with his counter-attacking shots on defence. And, it was rare that I was able to break through with my attack. So I'm working really hard for the points that I am having to win, and therefore a few errors creep in just out of tiredness and fatigue. And unfortunately, wasn't able to take the first set due to those reasons. But going into the second, I knew a bit better what I needed to do to win this match. I know that I have to play with more patience and more control, and going for the all-out attack at every opportunity wasn't going to work. So really happy to play the longer rallies here, but again, just occasionally needing a few more shots and getting a bit impatient. And more than anything, it was the tiredness at this point. I was playing these long rallies after playing a few really tricky games in the box already, and it was just so hard to keep focus in each of these rallies, each individual point. I felt like I'd play really well for a few points and then lose the focus and lose a few points on the bounce, which was quite frustrating. I was trailing in this second set, things weren't going my way, and I felt out of the match. Then I went on a winning streak of about 6 or 7 points and was right back in it. Felt like I had some good momentum and also a bit of a second wind, but just narrowly fell short in the end there. You can see super frustrated.